Now, people living near the site of a major water main burst in Birmingham have been warned it may take months rather than weeks for them to be rehoused. The pipe burst on Saturday morning, sending thousands of gallons of water down the street and into their homes. Well, Ben Godfrey's in Newtown right now. Terrible blow this for residents, Ben.
Yeah, here on Wheeler Street, it's becoming a bit like a scrapyard, Nick. Take a look at these cars. They were written off by the water 3 to 4 feet high on Saturday. These homes here, some of the families here have been living here for 4 months, and look what they've lost. Microwaves, beds, pushchairs, fridges, contents of the kitchen. You know, many of them just say they've felt helpless over the last 48 hours, and they've got many questions for Severn Trent. Cars were submerged, water poured into kitchens and bedrooms. Little was spared.
This is all the carpets, all sodden, ruined, full of water. This is where the water was, up to here.
Josie Green woke on Saturday morning to the sound of crashing water. Within minutes, she was in a fire service rescue boat.
Really scary because I didn't know whether the water was going to stop coming. Really frightening because it was just, everything's gone.
A 30-inch diameter water main, one of Birmingham's largest, practically exploded. 30 homes on Wheeler Street suffered extensive water damage. The owner of this house is so upset about what's happened. He's been warned that it could take 3 to 6 months for his young family to be rehomed. They've lost much of their furniture here. Severn Trent offered residents hotel accommodation, but some felt they couldn't leave, despite the dirt and stench.
Because of my mental health condition, I'd rather stay here and sort of like, you know, sit it out, and I'm basically living upstairs.
It's not unusual for pipes to expand in the heat. But Severn Trent says that doesn't mean this was the cause of this leak.
We've had our specialist teams on the ground working door to door with the customers to understand their individual needs, and especially recognising how distressing this can be, to make sure that we work as quickly as we can to get their properties back to normal.
This was Selly Oak in November 2016. Another large burst with homes and cars written off again. During the hot spell, you're asking customers to conserve their water. Do you appreciate the irony that they may say, well, actually, you're losing thousands of gallons of water and wasting it through having pipes that aren't very good?
We have an infrastructure that we continue to maintain. We invest tens of millions of pounds in that every year. And when bursts do happen, we have teams that are ready to repair them and make sure that we repair them as quickly as we possibly can so that we don't interrupt our customers' supplies. Hubert Henry's family have spent 3 nights in a hotel. So far,
they're looking at between 3 to 4 months to get everything back together. No life has been lost, so we are grateful for that.
We've remained in contact with our customers throughout the incident. We'll look to get them into settled accommodation absolutely as soon as possible. Couldn't commit to absolute timescales here, but yeah, we're working on that actively now.
A new section of main has been installed. This road should reopen tomorrow, leaving the residents of Wheeler Street sifting through their damaged belongings.
Ben, do you think Severn Trent have got a grip on these pipe bursts? I mean, this was a major burst, but there have been others since, haven't there?
Yes, we're aware of about 3 or 4 bursts in the Birmingham area alone in the last 48, 72 hours or so. Largely being dealt with now. One was near Star City and gushing for around 12 hours. You know, Severn Trent are well aware of leakage issues. You know, it's very much a sort of a blot on their landscape in terms of their figures. They're a company in profit, but actually last year they were fined around £29 million by the regulator because they'd missed the target on weather-related supplies. They're doing something about it, they say. They're spending £100 million on new technology, the likes of satellites, drones to detect leaks, and even working with an American company to bring in sort of robots to deal with it as well. Of course, if you're a resident and you're living on Wheeler Street, what you want to know tonight is what's happening to all of my belongings, where am I going to live? Housing associations are promising they'll take this urgently. They'll look at finding new accommodation in the coming weeks, but in reality, it may stretch into months.
Ben, thank you. A man's been charged with murder